MVYradio, Martha's Vineyard Museum, the Vineyard Gazette, and Hinckley Yachts bring you coverage of the 38th voyage of the Charles W. Morgan. Here's Dan McFadden of Mystic Seaport with a report on the historic 1841 whale ship as it visits ports throughout New England.
New Bedford promised Mystic Seaport a big homecoming for the Charles W. Morgan, and they delivered. At a dockside ceremony next to the ship this past weekend, Senator Elizabeth Warren, State Representative Antonio Cabral, Mayor John Mitchell, and a host of civic figures gathered to welcome the ship back to the city where she was built and sailed from so many years. The keynote speaker was Nathaniel Philbrick, the best-selling author of In the Heart of the Sea, the story of the sinking of the whale ship Essex by a whale in the 1800s. He recounted the history of this ship and her deep ties to New Bedford, and New Bedford's deep ties to whaling. At the conclusion of his remarks, two descendants of whaling masters rang the ship's bell 38 times, one ring for each of the ship's voyages. Then the flag of New Bedford was raised on the ship. The message was a welcome to the Morgan and a thank you to Mystic Seaport for being stewards of the ship, but it was also about New Bedford pride as the city tries to reinvent itself. If the charity gala held that evening was any indication, they are on their way. The event was oversold, and a watercolor of the Morgan by local artist Arthur Muniz was auctioned off for the eye-popping price of $50,000. The winning bidder, a self-described born and bred New Bedford resident whose parents immigrated from Poland at the beginning of the 20th century, said she was just proud and wanted to give back to the city. The Morgan is open to the public in New Bedford every day through July 6th.
Dan McFadden of Mystic Seaport. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:40 a.m. and 4:40 p.m. as we track the Charles W. Morgan across New England. Brought to you by the Martha's Vineyard Museum, the Vineyard Gazette, Hinckley Yachts, and MVYradio.